For those who grew up poor, what did you consider a luxury? New socks. Not the kind from the dollar store that fell apart after 2 washes, but real socks from an actual department store. The kind that kept their shape and didn't leave your toes poking through after a month. I remember being 14, watching other kids complain about getting socks for Christmas. They'd roll their eyes, toss them aside for video games or phones. Meanwhile, I was wearing the same 2 pairs I'd had for 3 years, heels worn through, toes carefully tucked, so the holes wouldn't show in my shoes. I'd safety pin them inside my shoes, so the holes wouldn't shift and reveal themselves during class. The first time I bought new socks with my own money from my first job, I stood in the store aisle for 20 minutes. Packages of 6 pairs, all the same color, no holes, no previous owners. $15 seemed impossible for something you wore on your feet, but I bought them anyway. The cashier asked if I wanted a gift receipt. I almost laughed. Who returned socks? I wore those socks like they were made of gold, washed them carefully by hand first, then machine washed cold, air dried them on the radiator, folded them properly. When my little brother saw them, his eyes went wide. Are those all yours? When I nodded, he asked if he could just hold one, just to feel it. That's when I understood luxury wasn't really about the thing itself. It was about choice. The choice to throw away socks when they got holes instead of sewing them. The choice to have Monday socks and Tuesday socks instead of the good pair and the emergency pair. Other luxuries from childhood. Orange juice that wasn't from concentrate or powder. Name brand cereal in actual boxes, not bags from the bottom shelf. Getting a haircut at a real salon instead of mom's kitchen scissors over newspaper on the floor. Turning on heat in October instead of waiting until you could see your breath inside. Ordering pizza without checking the couch cushions for change first. Without calculating if you had enough for a tip. Fresh fruit that wasn't on the edge of rotting. That was huge. Other kids brought apples to school that were crisp, bright, perfect. Mine were always soft spots and brown marks, bought from the discount bin. Still good, Mom would say, cutting around the bad parts. And they were still good. But I dreamed of biting into an apple without checking it first. Field trips where you didn't have to forge your parents' signature because the $5 fee was impossible. Book fairs where you could actually buy something instead of just writing down titles to look for at the library later. School photos you could order without your mom crying over the pricing envelope. But the biggest luxury was waste. Rich kids could leave food on their plates, throw away notebooks with pages left, lose jackets without panic. They could break things and replace them. They could try something and quit if they didn't like it. Try out for sports without calculating equipment costs. Join clubs without checking if there were fees. Sign up for activities without knowing if you'd have gas money to get there. We couldn't afford to not like things. You ate what you had, wore what fit, used everything until it dissolved. Every decision carried weight because there were no do-overs. Bought shoes too small on sale? You wore them anyway until your feet went numb. Hated the winter coat from Goodwill? You wore it anyway because cold was worse than ugly. I remember my first apartment after college, standing in my own kitchen, realizing I could buy any cereal I wanted. I bought 6 boxes, all different kinds, name brands with toys inside. Ate them for dinner sometimes, just because I could. My roommate thought I was crazy, and never explained that I was eating a childhood dream. I'm 35 now, make decent money. My kids complain about getting socks for Christmas. I don't tell them about my childhood, that's not their burden to carry. But sometimes I catch myself standing in the sock aisle, still amazed I can buy whatever kind I want. Wool socks, athletic socks, novelty socks with stupid patterns. I buy them all sometimes, just because I can. Last week I threw away a pair with a small hole, just tossed them, bought new ones. Didn't think about it until later that night. That's when I knew I'd made it. Not when I bought my house or car, but when throwing away socks became ordinary. Still can't leave food on my plate though. Still check the reduced produce section first. Still feel guilty buying name brand anything when generic exists. Some habits are written too deep to erase. My kids don't understand why I save every container, why I cut tubes open to get the last bit of toothpaste, why I keep clothes that don't fit just in case. They live in a world where socks are a boring gift, where abundance is normal, where choice isn't luxury but expectation. That's what I worked for. So they'd never know what it feels like to safety pin your dignity inside your shoes.